Hey there, dog lovers. You're listening to Wag.Wander.Repeat, the podcast where every tale has a tale. Every pup is part of the pack, and I'm your host, I'm Frankie. Here to celebrate the joy, the mess, the magic, and the mayhem that comes from life along our four-legged friends. So grab a leash, a treat, or just a comfy spot on the couch, like Maddie and me today. And we're going to dive in and talk about today's adventure. In today's episode, we'll be chatting with you about why we started working for Wags and Dogs of Tucson. Going to explain the personal side behind the business, including inspiration from my pack, as well as safety measures and other reasons behind my decisions to enter the pet care business. Pet parents who have always worried about safety at an outdoor dog park, I have a feeling you'll relate to my story as well. I'm also here to share some news stories today that are a little uplifting. And as always, I like to start out with thanking you for being here, part of the Wonder Crew. I hope you're been enjoying my podcast so far. Please always feel free to drop me questions for future topics and comments below. So, as you know, I always like to start with what we call the Wags and Wins section of the podcast. And this is where I like to dive into just some heartwarming updates that I've seen around the world. So one of the things is that I've came across some news about a new cancer vaccine that's showing some effectiveness at preventing 8 different types of canine cancer in clinical trials. I love this story. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death in senior dogs, and as pet parents, it is a scary reality to wonder and watch your loved one go through this. This new vaccine hopes offers hopes for a cancer-free future for our best fur friends. After years of development, it has been shown significantly decrease the risk of cancer in dogs. Interested pet parents can still sign up to join the newest clinical trials. And I wanted to go on and just share a little bit of a study based in Canada, so something unrelated. But a study based in Canada found just spending 10 minutes a day with a therapy dog reduces the level of pain, anxiety, depression, and increases feelings of well-being and patience in the emergency department. So in the study, participants visited by therapy dogs reported a 43% reduction in pain, 48% reduction in anxiety, 46% reduction in depression, and 41% improvement in well-being. The study included about 100 emergency department patients. And I mean, I can definitely vouch for the fact that I feel much better when I'm in the dog's company, can't you? And last but not least, a deaf and blind dog who inspired others to adopt special need pets. Raina is 13 years old, and her owner says she's never missed a beat, despite being born blind and deaf. Kristen from Pennsylvania adopted Raina when she was just 6 months old. This sweet Australian Shepherd was born as a double Merrill, which caused her white coat blindness and deafness at birth. But her mom, Kristen, says her disabilities has never held her back. Kristen shared that Raina is still a puppy when she realized she could inspire those around her to adopt. So she began bringing her to the local events. The pair educated the public on what it's like to have a blind dog, showing them how pups who are a little different can still live full lives while becoming a well-loved part of the family. They even started the Lending Paw program, which is set to fundraise at many concerts. So, kind of a fun thing. The main story that we'll talk about today is just the idea of why we started working for Wags and Dogs of Tucson. So I'm going to get started with this. And I guess let's start at the beginning, which was working for Wags, which is our in-home pet sitting and dog walking service. actually started when we almost had to cancel a weekend vacation. We were taking a long weekend. We were going to San Diego, or I'm sorry, San Francisco. And just a few days before our vacation started, we had hotel booked, flights booked. Our pet sitter fell through. And with three dogs, a tortoise, a couple chickens, I knew that my pack was not the easiest to care for. And so trying to find a trustworthy pet sitter to cover our trip nearly felt impossible. I thought for sure we were going to have to cancel. Fast forward to the flight home. We were able to go. We enjoyed it. We had the best experience. It was the last trip we've taken as just the humans in the household, just the humans from the pack. Ever since then, we've always brought one of our babes with us, one of our fur babies with us. But fast forward to the flight home and, just thinking over the whole ordeal of um, having someone cancel last minute, not knowing who to trust. And from that, working for Wags was born. We hired a local team of pet sitters. We made sure everybody was background checked, trustworthy, showed up on time, did what they said they were going to do, had some knowledge of dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, chickens, you name it, right? We wanted to make sure that any animal possible could be cared for in home. And we created a professional caring team that really pulled together. They cover emergencies. They make sure everybody's getting taken care of. We always make sure we have a backup sitter as much as possible. And we love to work as a team. Sorry, guys, something's happening outside. There's a bunch of dogs barking. And of course, my Maddie is joining in on the fun. So, um, using collective knowledge and experience to care for dogs, cats, chickens, horses, you name it. Senior dogs, dogs with disabilities, dogs and cats that needed injections or fluids. And we just wanted to be a strong team of pet sitters, professional pet sitters. So being able to care for our pets and also only hiring those that we would trust in our own home, trust with our own pets. We know that when you can take a vacation, it's so important that you actually can relax and know and feel confident that your fur babies are getting taken care of. So we look for different traits in our pet sitters. Sometimes we like the vet techs or someone who's been in the veterinarian field so they can take care of some of those senior pets. They know how to take uh, some of the different ailments that might come up and make sure that those pets are safe. We have people on our team that are familiar with seizures, and we have people on our team that are familiar with diabetic dogs. We have people on our team that are comfortable doing raw feedings and all kinds of different things. So we just really wanted to make sure that people in our community had a place to go for pet sitters that they can trust to take care of their dogs in the way that we want them to be taken care of when we can't be there. So um, that's how Working for Wags was born. Now, this leads up to Dogs of Tucson. The idea first came to me when our youngest of the pack, Macy, had to spend 2 nights in the doggy ER due to being attacked by another dog. Macy is the sweetest, kindest Rottweiler, Labrador mix. She's now going on 5 years old. But when she was a puppy, she was attacked by another dog, and she became fearful of humans and dogs during this time. When we got her back from, well, if you guys remember 5 years ago in our world, what was going on, it was in the height of COVID. And we had to drop Macy off at the curb outside the veterinarian clinic. and we basically got to pick her up 3 days later. It was a scary time for her, I'm sure, as it was for us. And, and just not knowing what she would be like after this happened. So, Macy was a little fearful of dogs. She was fearful of humans when she came back to us, and we decided that we needed a safe place for dogs to play and be dogs. Our community had a lot of doggy daycares, but these doggy daycares, they wanted a certain kind of dog. They wanted dogs that could walk into a room full of other dogs and instantly be comfortable. Well, that's not every dog, right? Not every dog can meet a whole pack of dogs and instantly be like, "Oh, let's play." Um, and that's what we experienced when we tried to take Macy to some of the doggy daycares here in Tucson. Because she wasn't instantly um, knowing what to do or how to play, she wasn't approved, right? So she wasn't their ideal dog to come to their daycare. And outdoor dog parks or public dog parks aren't the safest environments. We dove into like research and we kept hearing on the news that there's outbreaks from these dog parks of different doggy diseases and different things. And then people bring toys and balls and other resources, and dogs, they get protective of their resources. So we wanted a place where Macy could just be a dog and play with other dogs. And this is where the idea of Dogs of Tucson came to life. Dogs of Tucson is a spacious, clean, safe environment that has both indoor and outdoor spaces for dogs to enjoy off-leash play. Um, it was heavily researched and designed specifically for dogs and their humans to enjoy positive play experiences, making new friends and spending quality time together. This is so much different than an outdoor dog park. Um, and probably a lot of different daycares because we allow dogs to be dogs. We make sure that if they're getting overstimulated, that we'll help them take a time out or get a break. But we also watch the resources, food, toys, balls. Those are things that we do not allow in the general play public, right? We also make sure that our dogs that maybe don't love each other, because just like humans, not all humans love each other, not all dogs love each other. So we keep rotations in mind. We have different areas of the park where we can have different play groups. And that's an important part of why we exist today. So one of the big things that my research went into as we were creating Dogs of Tucson was safety, because that's the most important part where my research went into. So dogs are a huge part of our family, and it's so important to keep them safe. Something that bothered me about outdoor dog parks is that you never know what dogs or other humans will be there. When a dog approaches your dog in public, you don't know right away if it's vaccinated, if it's sick, if it's friendly, or if they're ready to socialize, right? You never really quite know what you're going to be getting. I've heard so many horror stories. I heard one just this week from a guy who he used to take his dog to a public dog park. She was a small dog, and she started getting attacked by another dog. So he picked her up, right? Scooped her up to protect her. And he ended up getting bit by that dog. Well, turns out that that dog did not have his rabies vaccination. Public dog park, Tucson, Arizona. That dog who bit him did not have a rabies vaccination. So that dog, owner, they just kind of took off, right? They didn't claim responsibility. And the man who got bit needed to go through a series of rabies vaccinations to make sure that he would be safe. So, and if you don't know this, if you don't have any prior knowledge of the rabies um, series for humans, they're rather painful. So I would recommend trying not to have to get one in your lifetime. However, Dogs of Tucson starts with a social eval. So all dogs that come to see us, they have to pass their social eval. And that social eval makes sure that they are friendly to humans and friendly to other dogs. It includes sharing medical records to check for vaccinations and spade and neutering, as well as the social side of that test. So our team will bring the pup in for the test. We'll check on noises, we'll check people, touching them, doing different commands. We'll tell whether the dog is ready to join the pack right away or whether it needs maybe a slower, more gradual introduction. And we're always happy to welcome dogs that are ready right away, just like we're happy to work with the dogs who aren't ready right away. When we first all opened Dogs of Tucson, Macy was still really new to the idea of play, since we hadn't found a place in Tucson that would allow her to be part of their pack. So we introduced Macy one at a time to dogs. She has some really great friends today, and right now she spends about 4 days a week at the park, and she just adores pretty much every dog she meets. I always say she has a new boyfriend every day that she enjoys playing with. She enjoys, even though she's a 5-year-old dog, she enjoys the puppies. She enjoys a rowdy play style. Now, another important part of safety is our referees. So that part of our team supervises all dogs and they're playing. We keep a small ratio of dogs to humans because in my research, it was alarming how careless other facilities were. They were leaving anywhere from 30 to 60 dogs alone in the room with one human, or even watching dog interactions through cameras versus having a true human on site or in the room with dogs. It's upsetting as a pet parent hearing about how many incidents occur in places like this. That's why our referees closely monitor every dog, giving them one-to-one attention to notice when their behaviors change, whether they're getting tired, they need a break, if they're not enjoying another dog's company, or even if they're showing signs of maybe a medical problem. Yes, we can tell pet parents all the details of their pet's weird poop from one day. It might sound crazy. We have a lot of poop conversations. We have a lot of energy level conversations. We talk about our pets and their boyfriends or girlfriends or what things are looking like. Knowing that our dogs are family, right? Our pups are family. We make sure that everyone is completely comfortable with their pups and what we are experiencing as they're spending time with us at the park. Something else that goes into safety is the design of our facility. It's not only inside, but it is climate controlled. So pups aren't spending time in the intense heat or cold. We also use special flooring that not only withstands dogs play, but it can also help protect and provide a cushion for them. You'll see that a lot of doggy daycares have cement floors, and ours is a really cushiony, kind of thick rubber material. And all of our furniture, gates, and everything are designed and chosen for our facility with the idea of thorough cleaning and making sure that it is a safe, clean environment for our pups to play. Now let's dive into the cleaning because I'm super proud of how much we clean. And it's not really how much we clean, but to me as a pet parent, and every time I have someone walk in that says, wow, this place does not smell like a pet facility, I just glow. I absolutely start glowing. Because it is important to know as pet parents that dogs can easily get sick by the spread of germs and being close to other dogs in close proximity. Their health relies on cleaning, just like ours does. So it's our job to ensure that they're in a clean environment. Our team cleans around the clock, and one of our biggest focuses is on clean water. While it's never a guarantee how often dog-friendly businesses clean their water bowls, you can rest assured knowing that we clean our bowls routinely. We're dedicated to maintaining a clean and safe environment for our members, including frequency of cleaning the water bowls and changing the water. Why is water so important? You might be asking yourself because the vibe of being shared is a quick way to transmit flu as well as leptospirosis, a disease that can travel quickly through water and require quick treatment because mild to severe illnesses occur. We also never clean with bleach. And you might be going, well, why? What, bleach sounds like it might be a great alternative. Well, it's not. It's actually can be harmful to dogs. So we use dog-friendly products. They're designed to kill some of the communal diseases that happen in dogs. And they are designed that they don't have like the strong odor of bleach, right? So when you walk into our facility, you're not getting hit with like a strong odor. You're actually, and you're not smelling dogs and you're not smelling, it's not overpowering of any certain scent. It's just kind of I would just say a clean scent now. Um, Now, one of the things that also makes Dogs of Tucson a really special place and something that I just adore and love is our dog community. While you might see people and their pups out at the dog park or in public places, at Dogs of Tucson, you keep seeing the same community of dog lovers as the members of Dogs of Tucson. We have a big pack, and while not everyone is visiting every day, you're likely to continue to run into the familiar faces each time you come. We have a lot of humans that come, in the afternoons at the same time, same days of the week. And you get to know the humans, you get to know each other and have friends. And we have a group of ladies that will actually even text each other and coordinate play dates between their dogs because their dogs are friends and they enjoy each other's company. We like to encourage community to learn and grow together, sharing tips and information as well as having fun in the different events we host every month. We like to keep things fun. So we're always hosting something like special holidays, pack walks, costume contests, parties, arts and crafts. Um, I was talking to someone the other day about getting some dog yoga started. There's always something for everybody. We want to make this community something that everybody who is part of it enjoys coming to. So, thanks for listening today and letting me talk a little bit about Wag.Wander.Repeat. I hope you this is my Madeline over here. She made herself a nice comfy part of the couch with her pillows and her blankie. Um, but I just have to say thanks for listening, letting me share about working for Wags and Dogs of Tucson and why they're so special. I would love to answer any of your questions. So if you have anything dog related, anything at all, I would love to know your thoughts and comments below. If you want to learn about something, even if I don't know the subject matter, I can find an expert and have them be my guest. But I would love to have you join me. Now, there is one other section I do every time as I'm getting ready to sign off, and that is what we call the dog park dispatch. Today, I'd like to talk about how to know if your dog is ready for an indoor dog park. Surprise, surprise, keeping on topic, right? To start, does your dog enjoy being around other dogs? Do they show signs of interest when they see other dogs? Is their tail wagging, whining, signs of happiness? Or is their tail tucked, or are they growling, or are they showing signs of discomfort? Either way, you might want to get your dog more socialized. Whether you've been craving time to play with friends or you uncomfortable around other dogs and you want to help them get used to the idea. There's a lot of different ways that we can encourage good first steps. So, if you are interested in socializing your dog, if you're in Tucson, of course, reach out to Dogs of Tucson. We would love to have you join our pack. But what I would love to say is I'd suggest by working on their recall and getting some general commands like sit, stay, leave it, um, helping them just navigate some manners and with manners usually comes a comfort level where I always say they have more confidence, right? So as your dog gains confidence, they're really going to enjoy going more places with you. Get out in the world with them. Take them and have a lunch on the patio. Take them to Home Depot, Lowe's, or any of those dog-friendly stores that your community has. Take them anywhere that you can and let them enjoy life with you. I'd also love to recommend training your dog not to jump on people, to understand and leave gates and doors. Again, if you're in Tucson, give us a call. We'll help you figure it out. If you're not in Tucson, check out your neighborhood. I know that there's a lot more places like us popping up around the country, and I'm sure you can find something where you and your pup can be part of the community. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Wag.Wander.Repeat. I'm so thankful to have your support. I love to have you help by sharing any advice, answering questions, replying to your thoughts. So please feel free to leave any comments below. If you'd enjoyed today's episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave me a review, share this episode with a friend, however you want to do it. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep your paws happy and your heart full, and don't forget to wag, wonder, and repeat.